I'm Carol Cherry. I moved to Gilbert in 2007. Imagine being too afraid to go to a restaurant in Gilbert's Heritage District because of rising crime and homeless tents set up on Gilbert Road. That is a very real possibility, as evidenced by rail systems in other cities. And even worse, imagine raising our taxes to pay for this nightmare.
I'm just here to oppose the commuter rail as well.
I am also here to oppose the commuter rail.
And I can tell you from firsthand that I used to ride the light rail that going through Mesa. There's some sketchy parts of that light rail, and you have some really interesting guests, let me tell you that. And I can tell you that they camp out in those light rails from going one side of town to the west side and back because it's their air conditioning unit.
I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I'm against the commuter rail. And I know a lot of people here are saying commuter rail and light rail interchangeably.
If we have one more incident of clapping, we're going to end public comment. But if we have one more where we don't respect decorum, we're going to end public comment.
Deciding to come here, I wondered what exactly could have made this proposition attractive to you people. Surely there were numbers, there were proposals, perhaps grants, something that made it interesting, possibly some woke fairy dust was sprinkled on it, something to make it attractive. But blow that away, and it is not an attractive idea at all. In fact, it's a potential disaster. If I can only use a metaphor. Imagine that you're building a pipeline for bringing toxic waste to be dumped into the middle of Gilbert. That's very nearly what you're doing if you approve light rail. What kind of toxic waste? Well, the products of woke policy positions: crime, filth, disease, homelessness, all of that. You think that the light rail is going to be used by Norman Rockwell types. It isn't. They're going to be afraid of it. Even as I was sitting here, the lady beside me said, ask them, have they ridden it? I'm not going to. I don't expect you to answer. But she rode it one time, and it scared her. There were crazy people screaming at her friends, and it was dangerous. She's not the only one who noticed. I just grabbed a couple of things here. This is from 1916, Montebello and Dunlap. The promise of growth and development along the corridor is overshadowed by unwanted guests along the rail lines. Victims of break-ins have reached out to ABC 15 News saying they believe the homelessness and transients are responsible for the increase in crime. New Times. If you've ridden the light rail, literally, ever, you've probably noticed that homeless people make up a large share of Valley Metro's riders. Fairly or unfairly, this has led some people to steer clear of the light rail altogether, and indeed they should. And a spate of articles with headlines like, North Phoenix residents blame light rail for uptick in crime. This is what you want to bring to Gilbert, because that's what it has brought to other communities in this valley. It is potentially dangerous, it is unhealthy, and once you put that pipeline in and turn the valve on, you can never shut it off again. You're stuck. We're stuck. We're stuck with the costs, we're stuck with what's going to come out of that pipeline, and we do not want it. I've not talked to any resident of Gilbert who likes the idea of this. And they have good reason for not liking it. There are crowds of these homelesses around some of the terminals, and the city of Phoenix is wondering, what are we going to do? Let's have an outreach. We'll move them somewhere else.
If you could wrap up your comment.
Pardon me?
If you could just wrap up your comment.
Can I wrap it up? Yes. Very quickly. What about, I said disease. What about disease? Well, how about typhus? That's one. It's appearing in the homeless camps. In Los Angeles, they have some experience with it. It got so severe, it actually made it into City Hall. It infected one of the prosecutors there, one of the city attorneys. Now they've had to talk about ripping out all of the carpets in there. It is a dangerous disease-bearing vector. Crime and disease. We do not want it. We do not need it. If you're going to build something big, build a moat. Don't build this.
Thank you.
My name is Andrew Adams. Many of you know me. I'm a small business owner and I am chairman of the Legislative District 14 Republican Party. My comments today are my own and do not necessarily reflect the entire sentiment of our legislative district. I come before the council today to quickly comment on 3 separate issues. First, I come to speak in opposition of the commuter rail. The commuter rail project in Tempe is a complete disaster. Where the rail exists, you see increased crime and loitering. The light rail makes businesses difficult in areas where it runs through and has become a home for homeless and drug addicts. We do not want these issues coming to our town. Secondly, on primary election day, I was assisting electioneers at different polling locations. During one of those shifts, I personally witnessed Councilman Scott September attempting to steal campaign signs from the ground that opposed his candidacy. The electioneers and I stopped him and made him put the signs back. Mr. September then left the scene before police arrived. A police report has been made and multiple witnesses, including people that are here, witnessed and can corroborate the story. I am respectfully asking for the resignation of Scott September effective immediately, as this is not acceptable conduct from an elected official.
Please, if we could refrain from the clapping.
Third, I have been receiving reports from precinct committeemen in my district, and this is important, that the town council and mayor have been telling them that they are not invited to legislative district meetings for the Republican Party. None of you have ever tried to contact me or my executive board to try to attend a meeting, and I'm here to personally tell each and every one of you, you are invited to our meetings and we hope to see you there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.